I never imagined my entire career could fall apart in a single morning. Not over a mistake, not over an argument, but over a lie. One I didn't even know existed until it was too late. The day it happened started like any other. Coffee, emails, deadlines. A normal morning in a job I had worked hard to keep for almost 6 years. I wasn't perfect, but I was consistent, quiet, reliable, invisible in the way corporate environments reward, until the moment they don't. At 10:14 a.m., my entire life changed. I received an email so cold, so blunt, so devastating that for a full minute, I couldn't even understand what I was reading. Your employment has been terminated effective immediately. No explanation, no meeting, no conversation, just those words and instructions to return my badge. My hands shook as I read it again and again. I thought it had to be a mistake, a glitch, something automated that was never meant for me. But then a second email arrived, and this one made my stomach drop to the floor. It said I had sent unprofessional, inappropriate, and insubordinate emails to a client the night before. Emails they had forwarded directly to HR. Emails that, according to the message, were grounds for immediate dismissal. Except I hadn't sent them. Not a single one. I hadn't even touched my laptop the night before. I felt heat rise to my face. My chest tightened. My pulse hammered in my ears. I grabbed my phone, hands barely working, and hurried straight to HR. When I arrived, 2 HR representatives were waiting for me. Their expressions were heavy, cold, rehearsed, almost clinical, like they had already decided who I was and what I had done. One of them said, "Please sit." I didn't want to, but I did. The other turned her monitor toward me. On the screen was an email thread supposedly written by me, and in it were words I would never say, hostility I would never express, accusations I would never make. The timestamps made it worse. They showed that I had sent them at 1:23 a.m. I shook my head. "This isn't mine," I said, my voice cracking. "I didn't write this. I wasn't even awake." The HR rep sighed, like she'd heard this excuse 100 times. "It came from your account." I felt something collapse inside my chest. They told me the client had complained, and that because it was a major contract, the company had no choice. They said the decision was final. They said the termination was non-negotiable. They said my access had already been revoked. And just like that, it was over. I packed my things in silence. People avoided me like I was contagious. A coworker who once ate lunch with me looked away when I walked past her desk. Another whispered something I couldn't hear. By the time I got to my car, I felt hollow. I sat there holding the termination notice in my lap, wondering what I was supposed to do next. But then something happened. Something small. Almost nothing. My phone buzzed. A notification. A screenshot. From a coworker. Someone I barely knew. Someone from another department who shouldn't have even had my number. The message simply said, "You need to see this." The screenshot attached to the message was blurry. But the moment I saw it, a cold, electric shock ran through me. It was a picture of my manager's laptop screen. A late-night email thread. The same email thread HR had shown me. Except the screenshot captured something they hadn't seen. A cursor, a drafting window, a name in the top right corner. My manager's account, not mine. I stared at the screenshot so long my eyes burned. That single image changed everything. I messaged back, "When did you take this?" The reply came instantly. "Last night around 1 a.m. He didn't know I was still in the office. He said he was fixing a problem with your performance." My breath caught. My heart dropped into my stomach. My hands began to shake violently. He wrote the emails. He sent them. He used my name. He framed me. And HR fired me without even checking. Something inside me snapped awake. The fear was still there. But it had a new companion. Anger. Not loud anger. Not screaming anger. But the quiet, cold kind that forms when something inside you refuses to die. I drove back to the building immediately. Security tried to stop me, but I showed them the screenshot, showed them the termination email, showed them the timestamps. They let me through. I walked straight into HR without knocking. The same 2 reps looked shocked to see me. One said, "You're not authorized." I cut her off. "You need to see this." I put my phone on the table, opened the screenshot, turned the screen toward them. For the first time that day, their expressions changed. Confusion, concern, then something else. Fear. The HR director was called in. Another manager joined. Whispers began. Phones buzzed. Someone locked the door. They asked who sent me the screenshot. I didn't tell them. I didn't need to. They opened an investigation instantly. This time with urgency, not indifference. Within an hour, they found everything. The login records, the access logs, the IP signatures, the draft versions saved under his account, the client thread he had altered, the email he forwarded pretending to be me. He had faked everything, every single thing, and HR had believed him without question. The director sighed deeply, hands trembling slightly. She said, "You were wrongfully terminated. We will reverse the decision immediately." I stared at her, unable to respond. She continued carefully, almost rehearsed. "We deeply apologize for the distress this caused." Distress. That was the word she used. Not trauma, not humiliation, not betrayal. Distress. As if losing my income, my reputation, my dignity had been nothing more than an inconvenience. I didn't say anything, because I knew apologies in corporate environments don't heal wounds. They only document them. But the moment that mattered came next. She said, "Your manager admitted what he did." My chest tightened. "He has been terminated." For a moment, I felt weightless, like my body wasn't even mine. He had been so careful, so manipulative, so confident that he could twist reality and get away with it. He almost did, if not for that screenshot. A single capture taken by someone who didn't even mean to get involved. He would have succeeded. I was reinstated the same day. Badge reactivated, access restored, job returned. But something inside me didn't come back. Not fully, because I learned something important. Something I wish I didn't know. Your entire career can collapse before you even know you're under attack. And the people who are supposed to protect the truth sometimes protect the wrong person instead. In the weeks that followed, co-workers apologized quietly, whispered their sympathy, avoided eye contact. Some asked what really happened. Some pretended nothing happened at all. HR never sent out a statement. They never corrected the rumors. They never acknowledged publicly that I had been innocent. But I wasn't the same anymore. I walk differently now. I speak differently. I trust differently. I document everything. Every conversation, every request, every email, every decision. Because I know how fast a lie can spread, and how slow the truth can be to catch up. But I also know something else now. Sometimes truth doesn't shout. Sometimes truth doesn't fight. Sometimes truth doesn't come from the people you expect. Sometimes truth is nothing more than a screenshot taken by someone who just happened to be in the right place at the exact right time. And that screenshot saved my entire career.